What is up YouTube, and welcome to this The Boys video. So after that last episode, there is just so much to talk about. And I did a full episode breakdown on my channel if you wanted to check that out. But today we will be discussing a few things such as that mind-blowing ending to the episode and who is Black Noir. So if you enjoy the episode, then please do drop a like down below as it helps us out massively. And if you want more, then please do consider subscribing with notifications on. At the end of the episode, we had a major moment where Vogelbaum went to testify at the Compound V hearings, only for half the room's head to explode, which was totally crazy. However, earlier in the episode, we had Black Noir have his face revealed, except he didn't have a sub-goal to do it, and he had very, very dark skin. Heavy spoilers put the idea out there that Black Noir is actually Stan Edgar's son, which makes a whole bunch of sense once I discuss the rest of my theory here. So before the CIA woman had her head pop like a zit ready to go, she said that there is a coup and power struggle currently going on within Vought. Now, the Seven have always seemingly been at odds against Vought themselves throughout the first and now second season. Homelander is stupidly powerful and hates being controlled by Vought, despite them making him a lot of money and, well, giving him the money. He clearly wants to become more than just Vaught's puppet, different from the comic where he would never mess with the money whatsoever and really act out on anyone who did threaten Vought. However, when this coup or civil war, so to speak, was actually mentioned, the name Liberty was also mentioned soon after. We know that Liberty is Stormfront, and Stormfront is itching to enact the wishes of her former Führer and is using Hitler's wet dream Homelander as the face of the Fourth Reich. Stormfront's true history and origin was revealed, and of course we know that she was the first successful Compound V injected person and was married to Vought himself. Now, Stan said to Homelander that the real motivation and moneymaker for Vought is not their superhero business, but the confidential Compound V, which Homelander let out to the world. And in the menacing scene, Stan essentially said, without saying, that Homelander is actually replaceable after Homelander threatened to leave as his contract is up very, very soon. He is nothing to them and infinitely replaceable, which is the crux here, as Stan mentioned that Compound V being important, and Stormfront is currently working on a secret project to make her own army of superheroes with Homelander at the front. Now, I think that Edgar puts Stormfront on the team to start to replace the Seven, except Stormfront had other ideas and used it as the chance to actually start making her own army of superheroes. And considering that Homelander has a natural born superhero in that Ryan, well, she would even want that. She's smarter than we expect, so I think she knew about Ryan this whole time. So I think that the Civil War was originally to replace the Seven with another team called Payback, and that Stormfront was going to actually be involved with this, except she has her own plans and wants to use Compound V for what it was originally intended by Vought, except here we have Vought wanting to use this to kind of distill it and make it how it should be and make it so it's instantly ready to go to make them a lot of money. And that's where the Civil War is happening. And I think that this would be very, very interesting. So in the comics, Payback was actually a second tier team to the Seven, led by Soldier Boy, who is coming to the show next season, played by Jensen Ackles. I think that Stan has kept his son as Black Noir on the team, as the original comic plan as Black Noir as a contingency is being used, except not being Homelander's clone like it was in the comics. And Stan will replace the entire Seven, considering they are becoming far too dangerous, with Starlight and Mole, Homelander being reckless, and the Seven just being a general liability to the main business that Stan has already planned for the Deep and A-Train to return. But I think they will join Payback there, and Soldier Boy is to return as the leader. We know the show loves to pay homage to the comic book movie world, especially with the last episode court scene essentially being an exact riff on the court scene from Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice. So Soldier Boy is clearly a rip-off of the story of Captain America, and there is a statue to him that we saw last episode. So stick with me here, as Lamplighter, we know, turned into a Compound V zombie in the comics after dying, and now he's dead in the show, which I think may happen here, as the V will let him live on beyond death. So if that happens, it sets a precedent, and that's what happened to Stan's son, I think. He injected him with Compound V after being in an accident, which is why he was so scarred, and he was desperate to get him to live. So he did this whole thing, and it left him alive, albeit being a psycho and oddball like he is in the show, which would explain why he is so loyal to Stan. I think that they will have a whole story that Soldier Boy was stuck in ice just like Captain America. Heck, even Homelander has a Superman story of being an alien, but in reality he died, and it has taken all this time to get him back to a living, breathing corpus mentis person once more. He will then be the leader of Payback and in direct competition with Homelander if the Seven do go off and be their own thing, which would be crazy, and it may lead to Homelander going mental like he did against the government in the comics, except it might actually here be against Vought itself. He will try and take them on, only to be attacked by Payback and the rest. Now, why did everyone's heads explode? So, in my opinion, what I think here is that I think that Victoria Newman is not who she seems. I think that Victoria Newman is on Stan Edgar's payroll, and I think that she is a mole, and this was all set up as a false flag to create a sense of panic and dread so that Vought can do their own thing and go off and create even more superheroes. Except Vought want to kind of whitewash the Seven and forget all of and everything that's happened, but Stormfront wants to create her own superhero team to, be a racist third, fourth Reich kind of thing. I think that's where the conflict will actually come from. And I think that Victoria Newman, because, well, in the comics, Victoria Newman was actually on the payroll of Vought, as it was a dude called Vic Newman, Vic the Veep. He was a vice president and was a soup as well. So I think that Victoria Newman here is going to follow that same storyline, and the whole AOC kind of knockoff is essentially just a false flag again and a misdirect so that we don't think that she is going to do that. And I think that she is in bed with Vought and Stan, except the whole Civil War here was to replace the Seven and kind of change everything and things like that. Only that Stormfront herself does not actually want that. So I think that's an interesting idea. Let me know what you think down in the comments on this theory. Are you interested? I will put the heavy spoilers video in the description down below as well, so you can go and check that out, as I do give full credit on these videos. And please do, if you're interested, drop a like down below if you liked it, and please do subscribe with notifications on so you never miss a video, and I'll see you soon, and goodbye.